Good morning, Mr. Chai Song-muk, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economy and Finance, the Republic of Korea. Mr. Chang Yong-ri, my friend, Governor of the Bank of Korea. Masatsugu Asakawa, President of the ASEAN Development Bank. Mr. Kong King Lee, Director of AMRO. Mr. Krishna Srinivasan, Director of Asia and Pacific Department from the IMF, and all distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all of you again, and it's indeed an honor for me and also a privilege to address such distinguished gathering at today's Sustainable Growth, Reinforcing Resilience, Revitalizing Productivity Seminar. I want to express my profound appreciation to AMRO and the IMF for hosting this timely and also very relevant event. Your unwavering commitment to foster constructive dialogue on global economic challenges and opportunities is commendable, especially in today's very dynamic, changing global landscape. The theme of this seminar is both compelling and critical. It invites us to confront the immediate global challenges that continue testing our resilience while focusing on long-term strategies to ensure sustainable growth. The relevance of this discussion cannot be overstated as we navigate an increasingly complex economic environment which is shaped by overlapping crises and transformative shifts. And today, we stand at a very remarkable crossroad in history, a defining moment where global challenges have grown more complex and intertwined than ever before. The lingering scarring effect of the COVID-19 pandemic continued to disrupt economies and societies, while the geopolitical tension is continue escalating, reshaping alliances and also creating huge trade dynamics. Reconfiguration of global supply chains driven by strategic realignments, technological advancement, as well as geo-economic fragmentation adds another layers of complexity to our global economy. Simultaneously, the rapid pace of digital transformation is reshaping industries, creating both opportunities as well as challenges, while exposing economies everywhere to a new risk. Demographic aging also presents another challenges with profound implication for labor markets, social protection, and most importantly, fiscal sustainability. Climate change, another crisis with no borders, has exacerbated vulnerabilities and creating very real risks for poor population that demand urgent and coordinated action. And today we also face with the political shift, whether this is in the United States, Europe, and other parts of the world. This will have a huge and significant trade and investment disruption, and especially on the global economic governance. With all this backdrop, volatility and uncertainty persist in global financial market. Concern about policy interest rates and global monetary policy divergence continue to pose not only significant risks but also complications to many policymakers that can threaten economic stability. This dynamic underscores the critical need for vigilance, but also our ability to adapt with policy as well as responses. Staying vigilant is not enough. Policymakers must remain proactive in monitoring risk and also adapting with our strategies in this very rapid evolving circumstances. Equally important is for all of us to continue rebuild and maintain policy space. Very difficult one, whether this is in the fiscal as well as monetary side. This is required and needed so that the economies have the tools as well as ability to respond with any shock today as well as in the future. Rebuilding policy buffers is definitely a very difficult political choice. It requires delicate balancing act that also ability to communicate politically as well as the ability to continue maintain a prudential policy and ability to look what is going to come. The IMF latest World Economic Outlook emphasized that the global economy requires a critical policy triple pivot. First is monetary policy adjustment that are already in motion. And the second one, which is related to my own responsibility, fiscal policy. After years of loose fiscal regime due to the COVID-19 countermeasure, counter-cyclical require and using huge fiscal space. The need to adopt fiscal discipline must now become the center for our attention. How to stabilize debt and rebuild essential buffers. The third pivot and the most challenging yet also vital is how we are going to be able at the same time, while stabilizing both monetary and fiscal policy, creating an environment so that growth will continue. How we are going to be able to establish growth-enhancing reform, boosting productivity, because this is the only path to address today's complex challenges. As the most dynamic economic region globally, ASEAN Plus 3 has consistently contributed a significant share of global growth. This is something that needs to be maintained. However, even this region is not immune to the pressure of the global landscape change. The declining trend in the long-term growth potential across the region, driven by structural issues such as shifting trade and investment patterns, demographic or aging population, climate vulnerabilities, and also digital transformation highlights the need for collective actions. Regional cooperation has never been more crucial than it is today. As we navigate the turbulence of potential trade wars and also uncertain global geopolitics, uniting our strength and deepening our integration, and most importantly, continue opening our coordination and collaboration to tackle structural challenges. With that, we can also bolster macro-financial resiliency and drive the reform which is essential to maintain and to continue support sustainable growth. This is indeed a difficult and uncertain time. Working together is our strongest pathway to stability and progress. It is difficult, but this is a must. This includes expanding regional trade, strengthening financial safety nets, and coordinating policies to mitigate shared risk. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to turn to Indonesia economic situation. Our economy has demonstrated remarkable resilience amidst this global uncertainty and challenges. Over the past 3 years, post-pandemic, and despite the stagnation at the global economic activity, Indonesia has consistently achieved an annual growth rate exceeding 5%, while at the same time maintaining our modest low inflation. Furthermore, the financial sector has remained stable and well buffered. Indonesia economic growth has been matched by notable advancement in social welfare. We also witnessing reduction in poverty, narrowing inequality, and improved access to education and healthcare for all Indonesians, especially the lag-behind region. This achievement is a testament to sound macroeconomic management, underpinned by a prudent and effective policy mix of fiscal, monetary, and financial sector policies. We are also, during this critical time, making a huge effort for fiscal consolidation. Indonesia post-pandemic fiscal consolidation efforts are a model of effective governance. Our fiscal deficit was reduced to below 3% of GDP or even below 2% a year ahead of schedule. What I mean by schedule, at that time, we communicated publicly and to the market that this above 3% GDP deficit allow for 3 years. So we demonstrate a strong commitment to our fiscal discipline, a very significant achievement, especially during this time in which many countries in the world continue to struggle to restore their fiscal balances and exposing their fiscal to the high public debt. Indonesia debt to GDP ratio remain well below the legal threshold. This is to ensure long-term fiscal sustainability while at the same time providing the flexibility to continue able to respond to the economic shocks as well as supporting and advancing structural reform. This is important for us to enhance our long-term growth potential. So looking ahead, Indonesia's new administrations has outlined a comprehensive development vision that demands accelerated structural reform and strike the right balance between addressing a short-term shocks but also at the same time build solid economic fundamental. Our transformation priorities are 3 pillars, which include food, energy, and water securities. The importance of food security for national stability is very obvious. Indonesia's vision of food security goes beyond increasing agricultural output, but it is also entitles agricultural transformation into one that is more resilient, innovative, productive and efficient, and most importantly, sustainable. Indonesia also commits to support energy transition policy with huge reserve of renewable energy potential. Indonesia continue building our policy and regulation to increase non-renewable energy So we are going to be sustainable on the energy side, as well as contributing as a player in regional and global level. And the second most important aspect of our policy priority is human capital development. Beyond natural resources, Indonesia's greatest asset is our people, a young demographic, but also need huge investment to build a workforce for skilled and adaptive labor force. To achieve this, we commit to enhance our education system so that it can align with the needs of modern economy by focusing on science and technology as well as digital literacy. The third is institutional strengthening. We recognize that strong institutions, a robust, clean, reliable institution are essential for any nation to continue move forward. Fostering transparency, enhancing accountability, and tackling corruption, establishing efficient governance are a must. This is something which is a challenge for all countries. We are now strengthening our law enforcement, reforming judicial system, and public service delivery. We aim to build institutions that drive growth, that can provide inclusive ecosystem, that will not leave no one behind. Colleagues and friends, to fulfill our commitment and to enhance human capital, which is the cornerstone of our nation's economic progress, President Prabowo also launching and introducing the nutritious meal program. This initiative provides free meals in schools and targeted nutritional support for children and expectant mothers to ensure that the health and development of our younger generation, our future generation, is going to be healthy. At the same time, the nutrition meal is expected to bolster the local economy by empowering farmers and small businesses. One of Indonesia's most notable recent achievements is the success of its downstreaming strategy, especially in the natural resource sectors. By processing our raw materials domestically, Indonesia has increased our export values, creating new jobs and strengthening our industrial linkage with the domestic economy. Most importantly, it also strengthens our external balance that contributed to the stability of the economy during this very dynamic and challenging environment. The impact of this strategy is clear. Export of related products have grown more than tenfold, bolstering Indonesia's external position and leading to a marked improvement in our current account balance. This created Indonesia a different situation a decade ago when we was labeled as one of the fragile five. The government is committed to expand this strategy further, not only in the mining sector, but also in agriculture and marine. By focusing on value addition and especially fostering domestic industrial ecosystem, creating value added to downstreaming, and building more manufacturing, a stronger manufacturing sector. This can serve as a powerful engine for economic transformation. Sustainability is also our focus. It is the heart of Indonesia's vision for our future. We know that building and developing Indonesia should also taking care of not only our future generation but also this earth. Recognizing the urgency of addressing climate change, our government is taking bold steps to transition our economy toward green development. This includes commitment to reduce carbon emission. We also very serious in promoting transition to renewable energy sources and promoting energy efficiency across sectors. Indonesia is making significant strides in its green development agenda through our initiative aimed at transitioning to renewable energy. And I would like to express my appreciation to the support of many of you in this forum, which include piloting early retirement of coal power plants, a very sensitive, difficult, and complex execution. We also expand our solar energy projects, promoting electric vehicle industries. All these efforts not only contribute to global climate goals, but also creating a new opportunity to invest in Indonesia and to create a new job, a better quality of job in Indonesia. Indonesia is also committed to protect and restore critical ecosystems, such as our forest and mangroves, which serve as the dual purpose in mitigating climate risk and preserving biodiversity, while at the same time supporting sustainable livelihood for local communities. We recognize that achieving green development is not a journey that we can take and undertake alone. A shared challenges like transboundary pollution, renewable energy integration, and sustainable resource management demand a collective responses that transcends borders. Regional collaboration is indeed important and essential. A platform like ASEAN Plus 3 play a pivotal role in enabling members' countries to share our knowledge, to mobilize resources, and most importantly, to foster innovative approaches, including on the financing to advance sustainable growth. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the path to sustainable growth lies in our collective ability to reinforce resilience and revitalize productivity. Indonesia experience is important for Indonesian, but also could serve as a reminder that sound policies, strategic priority, understanding difficult trade-off, and commitment to sustainability can yield tangible results even in the very uncertain and difficult situation. As our challenges become more complex, the need for collaboration, innovation, and decisive actions becoming more and more critical. This kind of regional cooperation like ASEAN Plus 3 must remain to become one of a good example for the global cooperation. This is our forefront of our effort to enable us to address shared challenges, and we could seize shared opportunity. There is no zero-sum game. We could create cooperation that resulting into positive sum game. This forum serves as an avenue for strengthening our collaboration. I'm confident that a strengthened collaboration between AMRO and the IMF will enable them to take a more significant role, credible role in supporting member countries' economies and also at the same time achieving and maintaining a vibrant, sustainable, and resilient growth in this region. I believe this forum would enhance both AMRO and IMF surveillance mechanism to identify emerging risk at an early stage so that we policymakers could address appropriately. And also, the most important, this forum could bolster the capacity to respond swiftly and effectively of many dynamic challenges ahead. AMRO's regional instrument can complement IMF's global facilities, ensuring that crisis responses are both globally coordinated and regionally relevant. Together, AMRO and IMF can provide countries with sufficient resources, timely supports, expert guidance, and most importantly, providing the credible signal for outside stakeholders so that this region will continue able to navigate economic uncertainty. AMRO's specialized regional expertise and the IMF global perspective should complement each other and should strongly support the ASEAN Plus 3 region as we are progressing toward greater economic development in the medium and long term. AMRO and IMF should also develop a more comprehensive framework to effectively navigate the emerging geo-economic shifts. This is also include facilitating the transition to a more sustainable, greener economy while addressing the pressing global and regional challenges that arise. And moreover, for AMRO to play a pivotal role as the anchor for regional centrality and ASEAN centrality, it's also ensuring that the region remain at the heart of the economic cooperation and integration. With AMRO expertise in economic surveillance and policy analysis, this could serve a crucial in strengthening and stabilizing the financial stability and regional cooperation. Aligning the initiative of AMRO with ASEAN centrality is very critical. AMRO can play a role in strengthening deeper collaboration among member states, enhancing the regional voice in the global economic governance, and also ensuring that regional frameworks such as CMIM remain relevant, responsive, and also effective to the emerging challenges. This leadership not only reinforces ASEAN's position as a central hub for economic activity, but also bolstering our influence in shaping regional and global economic policy and governance. Let us use this seminar as a platform to deepen our understanding. We could share best practices and strengthen our collaboration and partnership. Together, we can navigate the challenges of today while building the foundation for a sustainable and prosperous future. Once again, I extend my deepest thanks to AMRO and IMF for convening this important event. I look forward to the discussions and insight that will emerge from this today's session. Thank you, And I hope you all have a fruitful discussion.